Okay, maybe I'm a little biased, but I just think this looks clean as hell. Sup lads, I'm here in Streamlabs because that's where most of this video is going to be, but before this video starts I just want to talk quickly about my Discord. I've made a new section in my Discord called free stuff, where I'm giving away free stuff whenever I make it. Right now there are 10 free gradient backgrounds in there for anyone to use for anything like YouTube thumbnails, Twitter profile pictures, Twitch panels, Twitch banners, desktop backgrounds, anything you think you would need these images for, you can use them for free if you join my Discord and download them there. The link for my Discord will be in the description. I will be posting more free stuff in there from time to time, and I'll speak more about that at the end of this video. So if you guys are interested in that, please join my Discord. We talk about stuff like YouTube, Twitch, talk about when I upload, when I go live. There's a suggestions tab where you can suggest stuff you want to see on YouTube or Twitch. And overall, we just have a good time. So I hope to see you guys there, and please enjoy this video. Yo, what's up lads? I hope everyone is having a great day. Today, we are looking at how we can create my starting student screen that I use on Twitch. For those who don't know what it looks like, we're here in Streamlabs, you can tell. You can see my glorious face. If we go to my starting student screen here, you can see this is what my starting student screen looks like. It's just five simple overlay tricks that just repeats over and over again. And yeah, so today we are going to look at how we can create this in After Effects. You will need After Effects for this, but you can use whatever shape you want, and we're just going to be looking at the basic techniques. Okay, so moving into After Effects here, these are the layers I ended up using for this. And it might look like a lot, but when we get down to it, the only difficult part was figuring out how to do it. But obviously I already know how to do it now, so you guys don't need to worry about that. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we're going to want to make a new project and make a new composition. 1920 by 1080 is perfect unless you stream 720p. I'd recommend having a 1080p anyways. And just call this starting soon. Alright, so now we've got this 1920 by 1080 screen right here. It is transparent, but that doesn't matter too much since we'll be putting a background into it. Speaking of, that's the first thing we're going to do. So I have this pack that I downloaded, or I bought from owned.tv, which is how I actually got all my overlays, and it has this desktop wallpaper right here, which I used for the background. So I'm just going to drag that in. This is what it looks like, and I'm just going to scale it up a bit. Reason being is because we're going to make it a 3D layer and move the camera around in After Effects. But now you got your background in here, you're going to need a shape. So what I did, and what I would recommend you guys do, is I got my logo, I dragged it in, and I used the pen tool, and I just roughly went around this lightning bolt. It didn't have to be perfect, because no one was really going to know. But I just went around the entire lightning bolt like that. And now we don't even need the logo anymore, we can just delete it. And there we go. So now we have this lightning shape. We can scale it as much as we want and it wouldn't lose its quality. It'd look fine. But now I'm going to mess with the settings of it. So you can keep the stroke on or off, it doesn't really matter, but you want to change the fill to white. And the reason for that is, how I got the overlay effects is I changed the track matte to an alpha matte. So basically what that means is anything that was white would become transparent, or transparent, you know, it would show the layer that it's being tracked to. We're going to need some sort of clip to put underneath this. So for example, let's just whack in this Rainbow Six video that I made ages ago. You guys know this one, it's my channel trailer for a while. It's actually the one I used in the actual starting student screen itself. So now we can just go through and find a good part. For example, we could use this part over here where I got a triple. You're going to want the part that you want to show to be very short, because you're not going to have the image on screen for long, the shape layer. So now with the shape layer above the video layer, you're going to want to go to the video layer, go to track matte, and if you don't have that, sometimes there's a button at the bottom that says toggle switches. Then you want to go to where it says none here under track matte and change that to alpha matte shape layer 1. The reason it's the only way it will say this here is if your shape layer is above the video. Alright, so as you can see, what that did is it made the mask around the video. So now if I move the shape layer, it highlights parts of the video instead of the video moving with it. So now there's one issue here. Because the alpha matte changes all white to the video, if we want a stroke, a white stroke, we can't see it. So what I did was I duplicated this shape layer right here, toggled it on, and changed the fill back to transparent, and that's how we get that stroke back. And now all I do is if I want to move both these layers at the same time, I hit shift and I click them both. You can't pre-compose them because then that will get rid of the mask, but I just hit both of them with shift and then I can move them around together like that. So what I did was I just dragged it off screen. I hit P for position, keyframe the position, and hit R for rotation. Moved forward a couple frames, dragged it in right there. I'm also going to scale it up because I think it should be a little bit bigger. So now it's all about figuring out how fast you want it to come in and which direction and the rotation and all that. So right there, I think that's a good speed. And then what I did was after that, I just let it play out a bit. I'm actually going to trim this video down a little bit more to about there. Drag the video back down. Just like that, and then I'd play it to the point where I want to cut it, so right there. And I'd move the position down just a little bit more of these shape layers, just like right there. So that it comes in and then slowly drags down. This is really taking a toll on my PC. Sometimes you don't even need to move the position because when we make them all 3D layers, it looks good without even moving it. So if you just wanted this, you can have that. It will still look alright when we start moving the camera. So then go to a point where you want to cut it, just delete all the layers after that. And now what you're going to want to do is, where you see this little cube right here, this is the 3D layer, you want to toggle these all on for every single layer. And then go to layer, new camera, make it a 2-node camera, preset 35mm. You don't need to rename it or anything. And now you've got a camera here that you can move around however you want with the camera tool. So I'd say keyframe the position, keyframe the orientation, and keyframe the zoom if you want to zoom in and out. So now position the camera how you want. Skip to the end frame and simply just move it. And now you can see when we play this back, we've got a moving camera. Right, so if you wanted, you can go back and tweak these keyframes. For example, I don't actually have a rotation keyframe for these. Please note that also, if you want it to rotate in 3D space, you want to keyframe the orientation. However, you can just keyframe the Z rotation, which will make it rotate in 2D space. It will look fine. But if you want it to rotate, like I can go to the end here and just subtly move it to about there. And then we play that back. You can see that it rotates a bit. Alright, so to create the rest of the effects, it's literally the exact same process. However, there is one thing I did before cutting to a different camera angle, which is I added a little color correction, a curves adjustment layer right here, and I just added a little bit of contrast, just like that, a little bit less right here, maybe a bit more right there. Just a nice light S-curve. And then I also added a tint in effect, color correction tint. You can also just search for the effects in the effects and preset bar over here. But I'd add a tint and I'd just bring it down slightly. So it's about a 50-40% tint. Maybe a bit more, like roughly there. Just to give it that little bit of a vibe. It's hard to explain, it just looks better. Alright, and if you want to add a different camera angle, what you would do is at this last frame, you would Control-Shift-D, split the layer, and there you go, you have a new camera. Or you can just delete that one and go layer, new camera, because then it will reset. If we drag out this background here, it will reset the camera to the middle. and then you simply rinse and repeat the process. To make it easier for yourself, you control click on both these layers, the shape layers, control D to duplicate, and where it says layer 3, just move that up. And then when you drag in a new video, I'll do it for an example right here. For example, let's go with this dusk video. It will look stupid because it's just part of my Twitch stream, but I'm only using this because it contrasts. This was back when I had a 720p stream as well. Jeez, time flies, lads. And then you want to drag this in between shape layer 2 and shape layer 3. Basically, just make sure it's underneath shape layer 3. Also, if you want sound in your clips, you can keep it, but I usually toggle sound off. Find the part of the video you want to get to, Control Shift D to split it, and delete the other layer. And then you will need to bring shape layer 3 and shape layer 4 over to the start point of this. And right now, shape layer 3 and 4 have the exact same animation as shape layer 1 and 2. So what you will want to do is go to the beginning of this section, hit P, uncheck the keyframe and check it again, and hit R and do the exact same thing, or uncheck the keyframes, move it into a different position. What I did was I put it up in this corner or a different corner, rotated it at a different angle, and then I start the animation from there. And then once again, change the track matte to alpha matte, and there you go. That's basically it. And then repeat the steps that you did before. Move the camera around if you wanted. For example, we could have a camera that moves down like this. And then you could copy the effects like so from the previous video if you wanted to do it that way, and then tweak it like so. Or what I did was I just added the effects again and customized them to the clip, since it's a completely different video, so I can make it look how I wanted. But obviously this looks bad because it's not highlighting anything. It's that part was just highlighting some random main menu screen. But that's basically how you do it. And you can repeat this as many times as you want. You can make the clips as long as you want. Use any shape you want. Just use the pen tool like I did. And really customize it. Change the background. Add some effects. One thing that I thought about doing was possibly adding a glow to the lightning. You go something like that. There you go. Just added a quick glow. And then we could just add a tint. Map white to some other color here, like blue. Just really customize it how you want. But yeah, that's essentially how you make the starting soon screen here. You just repeat the steps, and then come back in here into OBS or Streamlabs OBS. I don't know why it looks like this, but to get it into OBS, because I know that's something that you guys are gonna need to do. What I did was I literally added a new media source, which means you can upload or put in anywhere from like MP4, MOVs, or WebM files into After Effects. I recommend if it's a big file, trying to make it a WebM. I actually didn't. It's the MOV file right here, and my PC is able to handle it and all that. But if you have a low-end PC, then maybe you want to convert it to WebM because they're smaller files and easier to load. But right here, I set it to my starting soon screen. I put on loop, I put on restart playback when source becomes active, which doesn't really matter, but I also put on close file when inactive, which does matter, because otherwise it would just constantly be playing in the background and it would just be using up unnecessary power. But the reason I said restart playback when source becomes active doesn't matter, because this is a starting soon screen. It's only 10 seconds long, my one, for example. People are going to pop in at any time. They're not always going to pop in at the beginning of it. So even with my transition as well, when my transition plays, you miss that first clip basically anyways. And anyone can pop in at any time right now. And it's only a 10-second clip, so they might be like, oh, this is kind of cool, what's happening here? And then they see the starting soon part, they're like, oh, sick, this is pretty cool. And yeah, it looks really clean. And like I said, customize it however you want. I hope this video helped you guys. if you want more tutorials on anything, like making overlays, for example, this overlay isn't actually mine, but I've added this bottom part and a sub goal and just change the colors. This will load in a sec. If you guys want to know what this is basically a Sam Woodhull's rotating metric. It just puts everything on stream in one place, real simple. But yeah, let me know what you guys want, like if you want to learn how to make cool transitions, because I have a bunch of transition ideas in mind. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I have a bunch of transition ideas in mind that I want to make. And also, feel free to join my Discord for those free stuff that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Because if I make the transitions, then I'll be giving those away for free too. Alright, that's about it. Please remember to hit that subscribe button because we are very close to 100 subs. And I'm pretty excited to get there. Also, check out my Twitch from time to time. I'm live every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. We are very close to 200 followers on that as well. So hit that follow button if you feel like you enjoy the content. When we get to 200 followers, I will be doing a 12-hour stream as well. I'll talk about that more on Discord and Twitter if we get to the goal. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.